A woman whose dog was being mauled by another dog at a Bayside beach has used an unorthodox method to save her Jack Russell. After trying in vain to break up the savage attack, she had success with just one finger. Paul Dowsley explains.
It's a sound Anne Bendooley won't forget. She was walking her Jack Russell Lexi yesterday when a Staffordshire Terrier attacked.
My dog will be killed. She had it upside down and was shaking.
The Staffy had the puppy in his mouth and was just chucking it around like a rag doll.
I lifted its tail and luckily I hadn't filed my nails and I put it up its anal passage and it went ow and let my dog go. I had to do something and that's what came to me.
The owner of the Staffordshire Terrier believes her dog isn't to blame.
It wasn't unprovoked. So the other dog was nibbled on the other dog nibbled on her feet. Obviously, she retaliated. Felt terrible.
Barbara has no concern about Anne taking matters into her own hand.
Good on her.
But yesterday she had other problems.
Then I felt pain. I looked at my toe. The toe is gone.
Half Barbara's toe had been bitten off as she tried to break the dogs apart. While she spent 8 hours in hospital, Anne was at the vet washing her hands.
Yes, in Dettol.
Carl just smacks it. Couldn't believe it.
Carl Moore is not a guy who scares easily.
The man or beast that I run from ain't been born, and its mama's already dead.
He's 73 with a wiry frame, and he's one heck of a character. And it turns out, he's also one heck of a bear fighter.
I ain't running from nothing. I never have in my whole life, and I ain't gonna start now. And you're not gonna sacrifice my babies for some damn bear.
The other week, Lacey the dog he loves like a daughter started whimpering outside. Carl ran out, and there it was. A bear who had no idea what world it just stepped into. Carl's world.
And I raised both hands in the air, and I cussed at him. Yeah, get out of here, yeah. And he looked at me like, go F yourself.
And what happened next can only be described as insane. Carl landed a whirling haymaker, punching the bear right in the face. Barehanded, if you will.
He come up like this, and he turned, boom! I hit him hard. Tyler said, I damn near corkscrewed his head.
We've all heard of a tall tale, the fish this big that got away. So was Carl up to it? Well, if you talk to the guy he's known for 25 years, he'll tell you, you bet.
Carl just smacks it. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, what was going through your mind?
Crazy.
That's John Sargent. He's a friend and an employee with the construction company Carl owns. He says the bear was a bit shorter than Carl, but still a formidable opponent.
What do you think the bear is telling his buddies?
Stay away from here. Without question.
And after talking with these two gritty men for a while, it's no surprise Carl punched a bear.
He's an ex-First Recon Marine. He's been in barroom brawls and all kind of stuff.
The bear's long gone and likely in no rush for another foothill fistfight with the new reigning champ. But if he does return, you know Carl will be ready with that right hand.
This guy's a jerk, but he ain't been back since he got smacked by Carl.
You tell him I'm in the hospital. What are you in for? Well, the dog bit my toe off. No, really, what are you in for? No, the dog bit my toe off.
Jerry Douthit of Rockford had an infection in his big toe, which he stubbornly refused to have medically treated. His wife, Rosie, a registered nurse, begged him for a month to go to a doctor. He didn't go. So his dog, Kiko, did what he would not. His dog took care of it for him.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I can't believe it myself.
One night, Jerry and Rosie were out celebrating. She just became an American citizen.
I had probably 5 or 6 beers there. And then we went next door to the Mexican restaurant, and they have these huge margaritas. I think they're 32 ounce. And I killed it. And then I was feeling no pain, which in retrospect was probably a good thing. You know, that kind of sedated me.
Sedated him enough that he went home to bed and fell asleep. Rosie was in another room.
I woke up and the dog was laying alongside my foot, but then I looked and because I had a light on in the bedroom, and I said, man, there's blood everywhere. And I reached down and it was And then I ran to the bathroom and I started screaming for her to come in.
So I scampered to get a towel, wet, damped it, and then to wrap the foot, and also to apply pressure.
He's a hero. It wasn't an aggressive attack. He pretty much just ate the infection. So he saved my life because I probably never would have went in.
He chewed off the infected part, up to the infected part, so then he knew when to stop, which was great.
Just to the first knuckle, you know, where the toenail bed is, gone, bone and everything.
Kiko the dog remains with the family under observation by authorities to make certain the dog is not a menace. Jerry is on the mend and now knows he is a diabetic. He's given up alcohol, at least for now.
This has to be one of the strangest stories we've ever reported.
Under any other circumstances, it would disgust you and convince you the animal should be put down. But wait, this story might help you understand man's relationship with his dog and a sixth sense that a dog may have that truly makes him man's best friend.
Here's Suzanne Jiha with the story.
Saved her Jack Russell's life by sticking her finger up the behind of a Staffy dog who was attacking her 1-year-old dog Lexi. At 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, she was walking Lexi at Hampton Beach, where dogs are permitted to be off leads. Anne says the Staffy started bolting it towards Lexi and locked its jaws on her body, shaking Lexi for some time. Shocked bystanders started throwing sticks at the dog to try and pull the pair apart. The attack continued, Anne recalls, for 4 to 5 minutes until she became desperate and decided to stick her finger up the Staffy's rear, forcing it to drop little Lexi. Anne says whilst watching this ordeal unfold, she was prepared for the worst.
She's my soulmate and I love her so much. And I was so glad that she actually was saved, because I would be lost.
Now, Jack Russell required more than 10 stitches after the attack, and her owner, Anne, wants the owners of the Staffy to pay her vet bill. But those owners say that they are the victims in this attack because in the process of trying to pull the two dogs apart, the Staffy's owner, Barbara, who was there at the time, had her toe partly torn off. We're told that today she is requiring plastic surgery. Council says that regardless, though, of whether the dogs were allowed to be off leashes or not, the Staffy owner has an obligation to keep her dog under effective control. And council investigators are today taking statements from all the witnesses at Hampton Beach. They will then decide what action to take against the Staffy's owners.